Here we go, boys and girls, another example. Says, the table shows the attendance for the Pittsburgh Pirates' last 25 home games of the 2009 baseball season. What percent of the games were attended by at least 25,000 people? And then as we look over here at our table, it's a little bit tricky because right here it tells me, boys and girls, this is in thousands. So when I look at this, I need to realize, okay, this means 12,000 or 13,000, 23,000. Okay? Another tricky thing is our question is asking us for a percent. Okay? And so thinking back to the graphs that we've used in chapter 12, graphs with percents, we used a relative frequency table. Okay? Also for percent, we could do a histogram. I'm going to try and stay away from a histogram because I'm pretty lazy and it's more work than a frequency table. But if you like histograms, you could definitely use a histogram to help you solve this problem. Okay? So I'm going to use a relative frequency table. And as I look at my data, I notice that my lowest value is 11 and my highest value is 36. Now, that's important to know because from 11 to 36, that's a lot of data values. And so if I was going to have 11, 12, 13, that's going to make a graph that's really big. And so with a frequency table or with a histogram, we can take those data values and we can chunk them into an interval. And that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've already done that, boys and girls. The trick with intervals is you have to remember that each interval has to have the same amount of data values. And so you can see 10 to 14, that's 5 data values, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so each of these, boys and girls, has 5 data values. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out, okay, well, how many times did I have a data value that fell in that interval? What is that frequency? And I just count crossing off as I go. So that's 10 to 14, that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, our next interval, 15 to 19, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 in my next interval. 20 to 24 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. 25 to 29 is 1, 2, 3. 30 to 34 is 1, and 35 to 39 is also 1. Okay, so there's my frequencies, how often it occurred. And now we're getting to percent. Okay, now remember, boys and girls, percent is when we compare something to 100. And as I look at my graph, I know that there's not 100 things here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5 rows of 5 data values. So that's 25. So all together, we had 25 pieces of data. Okay, so as I change these to a percent, we're going to be comparing it to a total of 25 data values. Okay, and our question says, what percent of the games were attended by at least 25,000 people? So that would be anything from this point down. So those last 3 had at least 25. So if we look at these last 3 columns, that would be this many. Okay, so 3, 4, 5 out of 25 And we want to know, well, what is that compared to 100? Okay, and that's easy, boys and girls. It's easy to change a 25 into 100. That's just times by 4. So if we times the top by 4, that's 20 out of 100. And 20 out of 100 is 20%. Okay, now as you're doing today's assignment, you can use any graph you want to answer the question. Okay, if you have any questions, reach out to your teacher.